Today on Public Eye News, NMU is offering a new nursing degree, and the Michigan Education Association president visits Marquette.
Dan Campanen will take a look at our forecast, and Max Stevens will give us an update on NMU's men's soccer. Hi, I'm Mason Wallace.
And I'm Dylan Ranget. Welcome to Public Eye News. Starting mid-January, NMU will be offering an online RN to BSN program. With the program being entirely online, students can fulfill all their clinical requirements right at home. The 32-credit program lasts only 8 weeks and is a combination of nursing and leadership courses. The creation of the program was designed to help the low enrollment numbers of the past for students who work full and part-time jobs. Each credit will be $362 and over $100 less per credit than the standard undergraduate tuition. The U.S. Department of Health and Human Services has released the results from an inspection that took place at UPHS Monday afternoon. UPHS Marquette has been found in compliance with Medicare certification requirements despite the complaint filed by nurses concerned about unsafe patient conditions. The complaint consisted of reports of 111 cases of IVs running dry or medicines given late, as well as 12 cases of patient falls and 259 cases of nurses working long, dangerous shifts and going without breaks.
The newest president of the Michigan Education Association visited Marquette yesterday as part of her statewide tour to learn about the challenges educators face. MEA President Paula Herbart stated her term in September and was a teacher for over 20 years. Herbart says in order to fix Michigan's education system is to have teachers heavily involved in the legislative process. She also noted how dangerous profiting in education is, which happens in 89% of charter schools. And the Senate Transportation Committee heard testimony on Thursday involving Tom Casperson's legislation to honor the life of an influential and innovative member of Michigan's road building history. Casperson said, quote, Medio Baco was a pioneer in concrete highway paving and road building in Michigan who literally helped build our state and improve his community, end quote. Former Representative Ed McBroom testified to support the bill by highlighting Baco's leadership in road building.
An offer to purchase the Keweenaw Mountain Lodge by a business group from Texas has been removed. Anthony Lane Partners, LLC, originally intended to develop the lodge with great respect for its history, but now says it's nearly impossible to do so due to undisclosed information at the time of the offer. Keweenaw Mountain Lodge, designated Michigan State Historic Site in 1976, is once again available for purchase at $1.5 million. The cost of health insurance could be on the rise after debates have left a gap of uncertainty moving forward. But according to Upper Peninsula Health Plan, Medicaid patients will remain unaffected. UPHP CEO Dennis Smith has been quoted, "On our Medicaid program, the way it is right now in 2017 and projected 2018, they still have no out-of-pocket," end quote. Smith also said that the Medicaid program is national, however, each state is responsible for their own implementation. The CEO of Dickinson County Medical Hospital said, "It's continuous that we find not only Medicare, Medicaid, other commercial carriers, they are continually finding ways to not reimburse us for what we do," end quote. And after this break, we'll be right back with your national and international news. Stay tuned.
Next time on Finding Your Roots, actors whose families helped shape America. Mary Steenburgen.
Wow, what a crazy story.
Wow.
Ted Danson.
I love this.
And William H. Macy.
This is a deed of purchase for the island of Nantucket.
I knew we owned that thing.
Family heroes, scoundrels, and rule breakers.
It gives you compassion for America.
Finding Your Roots.
Tonight at 8 after the PBS NewsHour on Public TV 13.
Welcome back. U.S. Highway 64 in Rocky Mount after a tractor-trailer transported coffee flipped Monday afternoon. It was reported at 4:30 p.m. and only involved a trailer, which was carrying 45,000 pounds of Starbucks coffee. The road was closed starting around 4:45 p.m. and was still closed at 7 p.m. The driver reported to authorities that he overcorrected a turn before the crash occurred. And firefighters battling the California wildfires are making progress because winds that fan the flames are dying down, and some evacuees are heading home to see if they still have one. Here's Maria Villarreal with the story.
When the Tubbs fire came racing down into Santa Rosa, Assistant Fire Marshal Paul Lowenthal was called into service.
I wouldn't have imagined we'd have something that big all of a sudden right here.
And as the fire continues to burn, officials are now turning their attention to making these neighborhoods safer. Santa Rosa's Fountain Grove neighborhood has been designated by the state as a very high fire hazard zone, requiring homeowners to clear brush and use fire-resistant materials on their roofs. But Coffey Park, a dense neighborhood, is considered a safe area with limited requirements. It now looks like this. Neither neighborhood could withstand a fire fueled by 80-mile-per-hour winds.
There's a lot of systems and codes that have been put in place to make it safer, to make it a safer environment. But Mother Nature brought wind.
This neighborhood is woven within California's wildland, a prime example of the state's suburban sprawl. In 1960, there were 766 homes within the perimeter of the Tubbs fire, compared to more than 6,000 in 2010.
I don't think anybody would have ever guessed that we'd have a wildland fire that would move through the volume of hotels, commercial buildings, restaurants, areas where there's zero to little to no landscaping. It burned through all that.
Thousands of evacuation orders have been lifted, but in wildland areas like this, it could take days, if not weeks, before the rebuilding can start. Rain is expected later this week, which fire crews are hoping will help them get to their containment goal of 100% by this Friday. Mireya Villarreal, CBS News, Santa Rosa, California.
President Trump tweeted Tuesday that Republican Tom Marino has withdrawn his name for consideration as America's drug czar. A report by the Washington Post has said that Marino has helped pump more painkillers into parts of the country that is already facing an opioid crisis. Marino's withdrawal leaves huge gaps in Trump's administration, including drug czar, the director of the DEA, and the Secretary of Health and Human Services. The opioid story leaked by a former high-ranking DEA official, Joe Renazzi, who said, "This is an industry that allowed millions and millions of drugs to go into bad pharmacies and doctors' offices that distribute them out to people who had no legitimate need for those drugs," end quote. The U.S.-backed forces in Syria are celebrating the defeat of ISIS in the former extremist stronghold of Raqqa. CBS's Holly Williams is there with the story.
This is Al Naim Circle in the very heart of Raqqa. It used to be an ordinary traffic circle or roundabout, but then ISIS began using it to carry out public executions, and they posted the evidence of those killings on the internet. Now, Al Naim Circle was retaken by these US-backed Syrian forces last night. And yesterday, we witnessed them celebrating on the streets of Raqqa. They were in a victorious mood after a 4-month-long battle. There is still thought to be ISIS fighters lurking in buildings and in tunnels in this city, and it could take months until Raqqa has been cleared of all the explosives that were laid by ISIS. Then they will somehow have to rebuild this shattered city where there is barely a building that's been left unscathed. Some of them have been pulverized by fighting, others flattened by US coalition airstrikes. Nearly all of the city's residents, in fact, probably all of them at this point, have fled the city, and many are living in refugee camps. It is a terrible irony that in order to retake Raqqa from ISIS, they've had to destroy the city. Holly Williams, CBS News, in Raqqa.
And right after the break, we'll be back with your weather and sports. Stay with us.
The Vietnam War.
We were acting as bait. Go walk in the woods and draw fire.
U.S. troops feel the strain of a different kind of war.
We keep getting more and more operations thrown at us. I may take a 15-day leave to Tokyo to keep from cracking up.
As the anti-war movement gains momentum back home.
That was the biggest crowd any of us had ever been in.
When the Vietnam War continues.
Tonight at 9 after Finding Your Roots on Public TV 13. Welcome back to your Public Eye News. As you can see outside on the campus of Northern Michigan University today, it is a beautiful day out there, so that I suggest you kind of go outside and use those last few hours of daylight as you can. Taking a look right now, it's partly cloudy, temperature of 62, winds out of the northwest at 9 miles an hour, and a barometric pressure of 24.96 inches and rising. Tonight we're going to have clear skies, a low of 50, and winds out of the south-southwest at 10 miles per hour, and those will start to speed up about after midnight with gusts as high as 22 miles an hour. Tomorrow we can expect mostly sunny skies, a high of 70, and winds out of the south-southwest again at 19 miles an hour. Looking around the Upper Peninsula, it is sunny in both Sault Ste. Marie and Manistique, 62 in both respectively. 60 degrees and mostly cloudy in Escanaba, and down here in Menominee, 65 and sunny. On the western side of the Upper Peninsula, we have 64 and mostly cloudy in Iron Mountain, 67 and mostly sunny in Ironwood, 64 and sunny in Houghton, and back here in Marquette, it's 62 and mostly sunny. Let's take a look at your next 3 days. On Thursday, we can expect a high of 63, low of 44, and partly cloudy skies. On Friday, a high of 70, low of 54, and mostly sunny skies. And on Saturday, we can expect a high of 70, low of 51, and some showers. Well, Max, we've got some rain in the forecast. It seems like it might last all weekend. And I bet our men's soccer team hopes that their winning streak will last for more than just a weekend.
Home schedule's over. They're on the road from here on out. NMU men's soccer ended their home schedule on a high note this past weekend, earning a 2-0 victory over Purdue Northwest on Sunday. Nick Metcalf struck first following a header off a corner kick from sophomore midfielder Callum Open. Sophomore defender Mirko Nufi was awarded a penalty kick in the 78th minute of action and converted on the kick to give the Wildcats their 2-0 lead. Wildcats defense limited the Purdue Northwest offense to only 3 shots on goal in the game. This coming weekend, the Wildcats will hit the road for a pair of conference matchups as they take on Ashland on Friday and face Tiffin University on Sunday. And the NFL's Week 6 came to a close last night as the Tennessee Titans defeated the Indianapolis Colts 36-22. The game was Titans quarterback Marcus Mariota's first game back in the lineup from a hamstring injury as he threw for 306 yards and a touchdown. The game was close until the fourth quarter. After Adam Vinatieri tied up the game at 22 for the Colts, Mariota connected with Taywan Taylor on a 53-yard bomb to put the Titans ahead 29-22. And after stopping the Colts on a critical 4th and 1, Derrick Henry broke free on the following Titans possession on a 72-yard touchdown run to seal the win for the Titans. The NFL's Week 7 will kick off Thursday night as the Kansas City Chiefs will take on the Oakland Raiders. And it's a great day for basketball. NBA regular season action kicks off tonight with an Eastern Conference Finals rematch between the Boston Celtics and the Cleveland Cavaliers. Over on the West Coast, the reigning champion Golden State Warriors will host the new-look Houston Rockets. 3 of the 4 teams featured tonight made significant roster moves in the offseason. Kyrie Irving will play his first game in a Celtics uniform against his former team in the Cavs, who have added Isaiah Thomas and Dwayne Wade. Across the mainland, Golden State re-signed Kevin Durant, while the Rockets added all-star Chris Paul to create a dynamic backcourt with MVP runner-up James Harden. Cavs-Celtics will tip off at 8 p.m., and the Warriors-Rockets game is slated to begin at 7:30. Well, Mason, one team we're not really talking about as of late is the Bears, but ironically enough, I hear you have a story about not one but 2 Bears.
I do. It's a fun story. Curiosity definitely spoiled the fun of 2 bear cubs that escaped from a South Dakota wildlife park. A man started the cubs playing in his neighbor's backyard. Pennington County Sheriff Deputy Kylie Kinneth says once she arrived, the bears were more interested in following her around and checking out her squad car. Park workers came and sedated the bears and returned them to their homes. And a mayor candidate in Philadelphia vowed to investigate the idea of drug-sniffing bunnies if elected. Though it appears to be an internet hoax, Dave Gautreaux told the newspaper he heard about the idea at a gathering. Gautreaux has since stated that he takes his mayoral run seriously and wants new creative ways to fight the war on drugs. Well, that would definitely be an interesting idea to have some drug-sniffing bunnies. And that is all we have today for Public Eye News, but tune in again tomorrow. Thanks for watching.
The preceding program was produced in studios located in the Edgar L. Hardin Learning Resources Center by WNMU-TV, Northern Michigan University Public Television.